Hello, my name is Don Eskra. I'm a process server. For those of you that don't know me or what I do, I work on the southeast side of Chicago, which has just been classified by the FBI as one of the top 10 highest crime neighborhoods in the country. They say your odds of being a victim in these neighborhoods are 1 out of 4. That means for every 4 people walking down the street, 1 will become a victim. My job is to serve summons and court papers to people in this neighborhood. I've been doing this for about 7 years on and off. It's a pretty good job. I haven't had any problems, knock on wood. I find that the key to success working with people is to just treat them like you would want them to treat you back. If you treat people with respect and dignity, generally they see that in you and they treat you in return the same way. Haven't met anybody interesting today, but today is early. It's 10:56 in the morning. I'll probably be working here till about 7 o'clock tonight still. I got about 40 summons to serve today. Most of the people that get these papers are for foreclosures. They're losing their house due to the economy, bad job situations. Most of them tell me they're out of work. I see a lot of poor money management when I come to the house, just because even though they're out of work, they usually are driving a nice car. Inside their house they have big screen TVs, flat screens, cable, satellite, nice furniture. So the problem is the American people have become so spoiled. They see things on TV, these TV programs, and they think that that's how everybody should live. Nobody should do without. So this is a problem we have in our society. In the last year or so, it's come to a head because everybody keeps refinancing their houses. Now, most people, when you hear the news or watch TV, they'll tell you, it's a bad economy and this is the problem with foreclosure markets, in the cities. But the true problem is, as I read these documents, these court documents, is the people have refinanced their house several times. They may have bought the house and then or $150,000, and then they refinanced it up to about $200,000, $210,000. So now they have no equity left in the house. They usually had a substandard mortgage on there where it was adjustable rate and the payments change. It's the interest, even though I don't know how this works with the banks, you hear the interest rates are dropping. Right now I heard on the radio today, today is October 9th, 2010, I heard the interest rates were down in the 4% rate. If you wanted to get a new loan, buy a house, or if you had great credit and you could refinance for a 30-year loan, interest rates are down in the 4.5%. But yet, when these mortgages adjust for the homeowners, their interest rates are going up. I don't understand how that happens, but that seems to be the case. And it puts the homeowners in a bad situation where they can't afford the payments no more. Plus, the property taxes in Chicago and Cook County are insane. The property taxes just keep going up, and it presents a big problem for everybody. Every block I drive on, there'll be 2 or 3 boarded up houses in this neighborhood. It's a sad situation for a lot of people, but most of the people I believe put themselves in this situation because, you know, when I was a young kid and growing up, and I listened to my parents, and well, not so much my parents but my grandparents, and they would they would try to pay their house off, but it seems not be the American way anymore. The American way is to just keep getting money, as much money as you can borrow, and then spend it, buy things. You know, before we used to say, you know, people are living beyond their means. You know, people used to just have a job, whether how much money they made, you know, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. They might go buy a car or something that they couldn't afford. But in this situation of the American mindset today is the house was a piggy bank. All you need to do is you just keep going to the bank, getting a loan, pull out $10,000, $20,000 at a time, spend that money, buy a new car, big car, couldn't afford it on your paycheck, but you could put it on your loan, your mortgage of your house for a 30-year amortization. Go back to the bank in 6 months, pop out another $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and life was good. Well, then came what they call the real estate bubble. The banks suddenly discovered that they can't keep lending money, that they were actually lending more money than the houses were worth. And they discovered this because the homeowners were smart enough to figure out that the house wasn't worth how much money they owed. They had no interest in the house. They could just walk away free and clear. And that started the big foreclosure problem. So this is the situation. Well, here we are in the middle of the day around the neighborhood of 68 Troop Street in Chicago. Pretty much gang infested neighborhood. A lot of vacant buildings and everything. Some gangbangers hanging out on the corner here. This is what it looks like driving around these neighborhoods. Pretty much vacant buildings everywhere. No real signs of hope for the community. Sad to say. Lots of gangs. Motorcycle gang right there. Lots of vacant stores. Lots of storefront churches. Junk shops. It's not a real healthy environment for families and community to grow. We're gonna go drive down one of the streets here and see how many vacant houses we can find on one city block. They're all vacant storefronts. Take a drive down Elizabeth Street here, we'll see what we see. Boarded up houses, knocked down houses, abandoned houses. Plenty of young men. Nothing really to do with their lives. Just hang out on the corners. I guess get in trouble. Could be some kind of activities going on here, I don't know. See, they see me, so they just took off. They think I'm 5'0". I'm crazy because I'm a white guy driving around this neighborhood, so they figure that any white guys around here are the po-po or the police. See, we'll drive down this neighborhood and see some boarded up properties. Every block in the south side of Chicago is like this. Look at the boarded up properties right in a row. Boarded up, other side of the street, boarded up. More boarded up properties. Apartment buildings, all boarded up. Nobody living in them. Uh-oh, got us in a cul-de-sac. This is one of Mayor Daley's improvements to the city. He blocks the streets off like this and calls it a cul-de-sac, and that way gang members can't drive around through the blocks and go gangbanging and shooting up the place. But unfortunately, it creates a dead-end street that you can't drive out of. And if you don't know which streets have a cul-de-sac on them, thanks to Mayor Daley, you get stuck in there. Sometimes you don't want to be in those neighborhoods. Anyway, we'll give you a little bit more of an update later. Yeah, this is the real deal. This ain't what you see on TV on those process serving shows. This is the southeast side of Chicago. On average, probably about 5 or 6 people get shot here every weekend. That's what's reported anyway. That doesn't count how many beatings or knife attacks or sexual assaults or hit and runs and carjackings and other kind of interesting crimes can be taken here. I mean, if you name it, it's done down here. This is what separates the men from the boys in process serving. I don't think anybody else in my company that I work for wants this area. It's kind of like having job security. I was raised in Chicago my whole life, you know. I'm used to it. I've seen everything. Don't have much more to say about it. We're closing out our day today of process serving. We started the day out with 42 serves to do. We closed out 30 jobs today. That leaves 12 jobs that are still open. We're going to have to try those jobs again another day. I like to listen to little Bob Dylan at the end of the day to wind down the day. Let me turn that on. I found a interesting ad on Craigslist. There's always ads on Craigslist looking for process servers. If you're interested in this kind of work, I'll read the description to you. They're looking to hire people with no experience, but have a knowledge of the legal system and have traits that are the following. You are willing to approach unknown residences and people, even at night in bad neighborhoods. You are an honest and trustworthy individual. You can work alone and with a minimum of supervision. You can handle a belligerent or abusive person without a physical confrontation. You can walk away from a fight. You can do all of this unarmed and with no backup. You must be good with technology, such as computers, digital cameras, and smartphones. You must be able to navigate from one unknown location to another using your general knowledge of the area or a GPS device. And you must be able to follow instructions and have an outstanding attention to detail. If you're interested in a job like this, they're always looking for process servers. It's not a bad job. Hope you enjoyed the video.